up? It's Way Up with Angela Yee. Man, I love when we have the definition of way up here in the building with us. We have Yolanda Adams. Such a pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much for having me, and congratulations on all your success. You know, I followed you for a long time.
Oh, well, thank you.
This is Way Up.
Congratulations to you. You have so many things happening at one time right now.
Yes.
And back to the music where, you know, putting out a new album, that must feel so exciting for you. Sunny Days.
Yes, I love the fact that this is like a like a 6-year journey because we started before the pandemic and everything. Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis and I, we write a lot together.
Legends.
I just love my brothers, and so we started the day after the Grammys in 2018, and then I got busy, started doing a lot of overseas travel. They got busy working with Babyface, and then of course the pandemic happened, and that stopped a lot. And then Kingdom Business started. And
we
so
love
we had
that. We'll talk about that too in a second.
And so finally I got a break, and it was like, okay, good. Let's finish the album. And I'm just so glad that we're here today talking about it.
Oh, my goodness. I love the song Sunny Days, too.
Yes.
The title track.
Yes.
It gives you such a great feeling, like just to feel like sunny days ahead. And it's nice because there's so many things happening in the world that sometimes we have to feel some positivity.
And that's the reason we wrote the song, because, you know, you look at the climate, and any given day you can find the worst news that can just shock your world.
I mean, the school shooting just happened in Georgia.
Wasn't that something?
And I'm just following on my phone while it's happening. Like, I can't believe this. 14-year-old did that.
And remember, last year they said that he threatened to call, to hurt some people, and they didn't go to the house because Georgia doesn't have a red flag law.
Wow.
So they couldn't red flag him or
they might need that now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely do.
You know, things like this happen, and it's like, and I was talking about this earlier, it was the 45th school shooting so far this year. And it's like every time it happens, like, we need to do something. We need some type of reform. We need new laws. But then it happens again, and then we just do the same thing again. It's in circles. And I hate how politics is more about, like, let me stop this side from doing something that could benefit people because I don't want them to get credit for it.
Absolutely.
If I feel like it's never about what's going to help the most people. It's more about posturing. A lot of times.
It's been that way for a long time. And what I don't like about this type of overzealous posturing is that they do it at the expense of all the people who would benefit from it, like you just said. I just don't think that if you call yourself a believer, if you call yourself a person who trusts God or believes in, the Spirit of God, there are just some things you cannot do. You cannot say, oh, yeah, I love God, but then you hate people. Oh, I love God, and you hate folks' sexuality. I love God, and you're judging. Yeah, we can't do that. It's not the same God.
And that's interesting because even now, look, now we got to talk about Kingdom Business.
Yes. Where she judges everything.
Exactly. Look, and that was the evil laugh.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
How was it for you getting into character for a role like that? Because it doesn't feel anything like so connected to who we look at Yolanda Adams as.
Well, I am so glad that you have that.
Because I know people be rolling up on you like...
what? Listen, folks all in my DMs, I can't support you anymore because you cussed. I'm like, it's a role. The script called for one cuss word.
I'll be like, blame Devon Franklin. It's his fault. Go to him. Go to Kirk Franklin and let them know.
But it's a cuss word that's in the Bible, okay? So it's not like I said something out of the, didn't call nobody a B or anything like that. But I love this role because she's a meaty kind of, deeply confused, conflicted person. And, as acting, while you're acting, you're actually not just mimicking the person, you're becoming who they are so you can authentically project what that character needs to do at that time. Growing up in the church, and I know a lot of your listeners know, there are several different kind of people that you meet that come in and out of the church.
Right.
And she's like a combination of some people that I knew growing up in the church. And of course it's fantasy and it's a little drama in there because it has to be great television. It has to be, but yeah, she's a mess. And the more we peel the layers from her, we find out what her mother did, what her father did, what everyone around her did to make her such an ice cold person. And we're very, very different because I don't believe that I have the right to crush somebody's dreams,
right,
or to stop them from living their purpose. And so, yeah, we're really different from that.
Thank goodness.
Yes, thank goodness.
But I think people also do look at church as like a judgmental place for some.
Well,
it's not, and it's
for
not
some
supposed
people,
to be.
and it's not. It's not, because if we say we want to be like Jesus, if we say we want to walk like him, he was the least judgmental person. And I think people need to just read.
Yeah.
And if they read the life of Jesus, for folks who really don't know the Bible or anything like that, I tell them to go and get a Bible that has the red where Jesus is speaking. And you'll find the most compassionate words. You'll find the most loving words. You'll find the most empowering words. And you'll find the words that make you feel like, man, I can make it.
Right.
Yeah. And forget what other people say, because you and God have to have that thing.
You have to have your own relationship.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Were you hesitant? Because I know it's season 2, right, for Kingdom Business. Were you initially, when you first were offered this, it has to give you some type of like, okay, it's Kirk Franklin, it's Devon Franklin, I trust that too. But were you somewhat hesitant because it is something that is different, for you and for what people are like, oh, this is not what she, and it is acting, but it's, people might say, like you said in your DMs, this is, I can't support you anymore. Did you think about all of those things?
I didn't care.
Okay. And you shouldn't.
I really didn't care. I have lived my life knowing that there will be those people who don't agree with me, who don't like what I wear, who don't like the way I sing.
You look fly,
and that's
by the
cool.
way.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. But, and that's fine. But stay across the street and I'll leave you alone. You leave me alone, because I grew up in a household where all 6 of us as kids had our own individual everything. We had our own individual sports. We had our own individual way of dressing. I was the hippie in the family, so I had the afros and all of that kind of stuff, the vests, stuff like that. Okay. And I have another sister who is totally designer everything. And, and our parents allowed us that room to be us. So we grew up in a situation where I didn't have to be like my sister or my brother or my cousins. And so, when you get into the real world and you see, oh, people really don't understand that we can all thrive. Right. We can all get exactly what we want, and we don't have to knock each other down.
Right. Absolutely.
So, and the whole social media thing, my daughter can tell you, sometimes I'm on it, sometimes I'm not. She's like, Mom, you really need to post. I'm like, okay.
You're like, do it for me. Well, your daughter Taylor is in the room today,
yes,
too.
Yes, she is.
Your little mini you.
My mini me.
Because you definitely got your whole face, which is a positive blessing. But she's also an actress, right?
She is an actress. She has done, 3 movies? 2. Just graduated a couple of years ago. Now she's in California, and I'm so proud of her, because I want her to be everything that her heart desires for her to be. Because I've lived my life.
Yeah, she's got a good.
You're
still living your life.
Oh, absolutely.
Listen, I see all the moves that you're making. I think that first of all, I don't know how you have time to do it all. So you have a new album that's coming out, Sunny Days, Church Doors. That single came out.
Yes.
And that is representative of a lot of things, because people come into that church. So talk to me about the single Church Doors and what that represents and the message that you're giving people in that song.
Well, Church Doors, we have 3 different versions of Church Doors. We have the churchy version of Church Doors. We have the house version of Church Doors, and we have the extended house version that includes spoken word poet Jay Ivey, who's a Grammy Award winner and everything. You know, you've played some of his stuff, and now he has commercials on the NFL and stuff. And I'm like, nephew, look, nephew, I need your help. And so church doors means different things because, as we know, in the physical realm, you can have a big cathedral with gorgeous, ornate doors, or you can have a storefront church with just glass doors that you walk into. Mm-hmm. And the analogy and symbolism of church doors is we're actually the church.
Right.
You know, wherever we go, if it's Starbucks, we're the church. If it's Target, you know, not to mention anybody's names because they're not sponsoring me, but
if it's online.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we did a lot of church online.
A lot of church online. Mm-hmm. And, you know, a lot of people are still doing church online. And so our symbolism is, listen, although we have a whole bunch going on in this world, we still have something to be grateful for.
Right.
So when the tagline says, when you let me make it to the church doors, I'll tell them what you've done for me. And so again, it's anywhere you go that you feel the need to tell somebody, you know, God is just good. Mm-hmm. So that's what church doors is all about.
And as people hear more about you, I am so sure that people come to you. And yes, because you have that vibe too. Yes. Like, I just feel like I could talk to her
all day long
and tell her anything, and just, you know, and that's a great positive thing. But that's also like, who do you talk to when you have things that you're going through?
Oh, I have, you know, my pastor, and I have first ladies who are friends of mine. We grew up together. Mm-hmm. I have my best friends. I have my tailor. You know, I don't like to put anything on her, but, you know, I am of the mind that God will send people to you, mm-hmm. especially when you're that kind of person. He'll send someone to you right at the nick of time, you know, and at the opportune time to share your heart and say, whoo, child, I'm just tired, you know, something like that. And so I look at it as not just a responsibility, but also as a pleasure for me to do it, mm-hmm. because I know how hard people work, and I know how hard they work on their mental. I know how hard they work on their spiritual. And to be able to hold people's secrets and to hold mm-hmm. their, you know, their confidence, that means a lot to me.
You know, Church Doors, you also have the video with
Woody McClain.
With Woody. Oh my God, that was really an amazing video. I feel bad that I just said, oh my God, but that was an amazing video.
Yes.
So talk to me about the concept and coming up with that, because I, first of all, have never seen him do.
Well, you know, okay, so if we go back to the Bobby Brown movie, well, you know,
we know he got the moves.
Oh my gosh, he has the moves, and he's such a nice guy. You know, I know his power structure right now is kind of like anti that.
You know what it is? I think we put him in that role because that was the most recent one.
It was the most recent one.
So then seeing him do this in the Church Doors video was like, whoa, what's going on here?
Listen, I had got so many DMs. Oh, so you're taking Woody to church, huh? I'm like, oh my gosh. And of course, you know, they used his screen name. But I thought it was so funny. And I thank him because he was one of the keys to making the video go viral. Mm-hmm. And I'm just so blessed. I wanted, like I said, like I was explaining church doors, there's so many different ways that we can look at life. We can look at spirituality. We can look at our relationship with God. And I wanted the video to be bright and full of love and light and all of that good stuff. So people, you know, would say, oh, okay. Oh, come on, Miss Yolanda.
Has that become a TikTok viral video? Because I can see people are going to be recreating that.
I hope so.
I can't see how it couldn't. I feel like we got to get that started.
Okay.
Because somebody is going to recreate. I think a whole bunch of people are going to recreate that choreography.
Yes, absolutely. I look forward to it. You know, Fatima, shout out to Fatima mm-hmm. and Sylvia Rohn, who came up with all these great ideas, and the video director. I mean, it's just... It expresses my, you know, my cool side, so to speak. So that means I'm current, you know. But I love the fact that it gives people pause sometimes, like, oh, wait a minute. Is this the battle is the Lord's lady? You know, and so when they see Church Doors and they see the video and they hear the different versions, they're like, wow, I like that.
Right.
So yeah, I'm really excited.
And this
about
is your
that.
first album since you just mentioned Sylvia Roan on Epic. Is that
This
correct?
is my first album on Epic.
Mm-hmm.
She and I were together when Elektra was Elektra back
Yep.
in the day. And she said, "Listen, we got to do this one more time." I'm like, "Okay, now if we do it one more time, we got to do it, Sylvia." Okay, she's like, "Okay, yeah," and she's so invested. I love her. I love my Epic family. I'm so proud of this.
Right.
I'm proud of this project.
And you said you've been working on this for 6 years.
For
So
6 years.
how did it evolve from when you first started to where we are today with it ready to come out?
I am glad that it took a 6-year journey. And here's why. Sometimes we can do something so quick and so fast, and we feel like, oh, that was good. But there's no real life experience happening in there.
Mm-hmm.
So between 2018 and 2024, we've had a lot of stuff happen.
lot.
But then, isn't that just like life?
Yeah, it is.
That's
it's
exactly
a journey.
exactly like life. You know, there's a day when you're up and you're doing well, and there's a day when you're conflicted and like, oh, should I even be doing this? You know, there's a day when you're like, okay, I know I want to do this, this, and this, but let me count up the costs. You
Right.
know, and you're a businesswoman, so you know all about
Yeah.
that.
I do every
And
day.
then the days when it's like, whoo, I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. And then something in your heart tugs and say, come on, just finish your thing, you know, because I taught Taylor this years ago. My mom and grandmother taught me the same thing. If you start a thing, you got to finish it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And even to start it is a big deal because sometimes we have
Yes.
ideas and we don't even get to the starting point.
And in the middle of 18, 19, 20, when everything stopped, almost to 21, 22, there were different things I was feeling. I was watching the news and the cynicism was getting, you know, to everyone. And then we started blaming everyone for the pandemic and all of this, you know, and then they started blaming folks for the deaths and all of I'm like, so just speak to me and tell me what I should be doing. What should I write so that everyone who listens to this project can feel I'm not by myself?
Right.
Because, you know, that's one of the enemy's biggest tricks is to make you feel like you're the only person on earth out of all these 8 billion plus people that you're the only one going through. So you can start feeling sorry for yourself or get into despair. And then despair turns into depression. And then depression turns into self-hate and loathing and all of that. When in actuality, it's just another day at the office.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think during that time, we were fortunate enough to come together. Like D Nice really kicked up
didn't
his
we
whole.
love that? Yes. And
When I
turned
tell
it
you that
all
was such a
around.
moment that never could have happened. Versus
Absolutely.
ended up happening during that time.
More podcasts.
Yes, more podcasts.
And
Some
more
of them came and went.
positivity, you know?
Uh-huh.
And so it
was a real test.
It was a test, but it was also a season of creativity, a season of building,
Right.
a season of restructuring, a season of trying to figure out, am I going to stay in this position or am I going to create my own lane?
Yeah, a lot of entrepreneurship. Some businesses actually thrived during that time.
Yes,
I had friends who
absolutely.
owned restaurants, and they were like, look, we didn't have to have the whole staff. We just did takeout to go. We were able to do certain things. And if not, I would have had to shut my business down. So it really helped people. If you were able to work and pivot and figure out the right way to do things. It also made us realize the importance of being able to be online and technology and how that plays such a big role in success so that if something happens, you can still keep your business going.
Absolutely. And keep your life going.
And keep your life going, right? And stay
Because-
connected. I mean, Zoom.
Yes.
I had never been on a Zoom prior to the pandemic. And then next thing you know, I was on a Zoom every day.
Yes, you were.
When I tell
because
you
there were
every day.
meetings and there were this and this was that. And then shout out to Miss Oprah, who created this sisterhood kind of thing. And so myself, Tamala Mann, Erica Campbell, and Tasha Cobbs Leonard, we all got on and we were laughing and talking, and that made a big difference too. I think laughter had a lot to do with it. So when the comedians started doing their thing, it's like, oh, good. Okay, so I'm waiting for Kev on stage, and I'm waiting for this one, and I'm waiting for that one. So a lot of people thrived. And with this project, I wanted to make sure that the people who were left behind or who felt left behind understood, hey, I was right there with you.
Right.
And that's why the song When You Pray is so important.
Ooh, you got to.
That's why the song Can I Love Somebody the Way I Want to Be Loved was so important. Because at that moment, you know, most people couldn't go visit their loved ones or anything like that. And you know, we always expect the person that we are in love with or enamored with to go beyond, you know, to capture our love and everything. But then the question that I find myself asking, and I found myself asking as well, is now I'm requiring all of this of someone else. But am I willing to be what I require?
Exactly. We got to look at ourselves.
Oh, come on now.
A lot of self-reflection. And listen, we talked about business. You also have your jewelry line.
I have my jewelry line, and I'm very proud of that. It's Yolanda Adams Jewelry. You can find it on the website and Instagram. You can see some of the stuff.
They got some,
I had to do the hoops.
You got
when
to.
we first started, they were like, okay, we're going to do these nice little demure. I said, listen.
Demure.
I wear studs. I wear big hoops. I wear the chunky earrings. I wear the little chandelier earrings. I'm a jewelry girl. I'm a girly girl. I love, you know, just being able to go into the, you know, the little thing and just pick something out. Oh, that'll look good today. And I wanted it, again, thinking about the pandemic and people's, you know, economics. I wanted it where it was stylish, but also affordable.
Right.
And so we had
well
that.
Done.
Yes, absolutely. And of course, we have the watch line. I got to get you one.
Okay.
Lady Banneker. I'm the face of Lady Banneker.
Congratulations on that. You
I'm
got
so excited
much
about
happening.
that.
I can tell that you're so passionate about the jewelry and the watch and
Absolutely.
watches and everything too, because it's nice to be able to do something that you use and you care about. Sometimes people start businesses just to make money, but it's so different when it's like, I love this.
Absolutely. Because I feel
it's a piece of you.
Yeah, it's a piece of me, but also I feel good when I believe I look good. And you know, you are a public person.
I forgot my earrings today. I was so mad. Like I was like, man, what am I gonna do?
But I'll send you a nice little package.
But don't worry, we support here.
Oh no,
so
no,
I
know.
Gonna order.
I know.
And support.
I love that.
That's the main thing. We want to support businesses like that because what I love is to be able to see your line, to see Mary J. Blige.
Don't you love her?
And Simone.
I love
just to see all of that, like all the different options that we have that we can purchase. That's a powerful thing.
Yeah, I remember when Simone came to Houston, our Neiman's, and she was doing a trunk show, and I said, "Oh my gosh, my daughter and my nieces would love, you know, remember the little lollipop, with the rhinestones and stuff. I bought so many of those.
It feels good that we could support each other and know the person behind the brand.
Absolutely, and know that there's integrity behind the brand and that they stand by it. And so, yeah, I'm just really excited about all
right.
that.
So besides that, the reunion tour.
The reunion tour.
Oh my goodness. I don't know how you, I mean, but it's amazing. So that has to be a good time though, because you got like quite the lineup of gospel artists on tour. I mean, Kirk Franklin, Fred Hammond, Marvin Sapp.
The Clark sisters. Kiara is opening up.
Wow.
It's like, oh my God. All of these legacy artists coming together, and we've all been on tours with one another at some point in time. And for all of our schedules, here's the miracle. All of our schedules work together so we could be on this tour for 30 plus days. It's like, whoa.
That like never happened.
It would never happen. Fred and I have been on two tours together. Kirk and I have been on 3 tours together. Marvin and I, we've done some dates together, like mini tours and stuff. And the Clark sisters, we all grew up together. So to be able to hang out with them. And our running theme for this tour is just gratitude. Mm-hmm. We're so grateful to be able to go anywhere and still be influential, still be inspirational, and still have a little, flair and a little flash to us. And a little edge to us that folks are like, oh, man, we got to go see that. Yeah.
We were earlier, I was in the room before you got here. We were talking about it, about, all of the records that you've sold and all of the accolades that you've gotten. That's not something, being like the gospel artist of the decade, all of those things. That's not something that people accomplish a lot in gospel music.
It still blows my mind.
And so, I want to ask you about that. Like, how do you feel about all of these accomplishments? Because sometimes you have to sit down and be like, I did that. I did a thing.
And I think for me, it's like,
they're like 10 million records.
Who are they talking about?
Right. I mean, that's a big deal for any genre.
For any genre. And it's like, wow. You feel gratitude again, but then you feel responsibility. Mm-hmm. How do I continue this? Not that, of course I want Sunny Days to sell another 5-10 million of anything. Thank you, Lord. But the responsibility to keep giving great music. Right. Because you can't sell that many records without touching the hearts of people. And so if you make it your mission to touch the hearts of people, to make sure that you give them music that can guide their lives and can help them celebrate milestones in their lives, half of that other stuff is, it's just gravy.
Right.
And so, I'm really, really grateful for that. It still blows my mind. And,
that's more than a blessing, because that's such a rare thing.
Oh, yeah.
I know that there's a lot of, up-and-coming gospel artists that might feel like, how can I ever achieve that level of success and to be able to touch people's hearts in such a manner?
And all it takes is the focus, the determination, and the heart to be willing to say, if I sell 1 million copies, fine. But if I touch 1 million people, if I touch 10 million people, that's more than enough. Because, and I've had conversations with everybody on the tour. Mm-hmm. We never set out, okay, this record, we're going to sell so-and-so and so.
Right.
This record, I'm going to get this many awards and all that kind of stuff. Because you don't even think about it. It's like way at the back of the burner, you know. But to really sincerely want the best for the people who have guided you, who've watched you grow, who've watched you get married, who've watched your child be born and, saw you on stage when you were pregnant, all of that kind of stuff. Those are the things that really, really matter. And now she's 23. Wow. So there are a lot of people who've been with me 30, 40 plus years.
That's amazing.
And I am still in awe of the fact that God has he's more than kept his promise. And everything that I've asked for, he's superseded. So I don't care what your genre of music or where you find yourself business-wise or whatever, when you keep your heart pure and when you make sure that what you're doing is to benefit somebody else as well, because it's going to benefit you,
absolutely.
But to benefit someone else as well, hey, the sky is not even the limit.
Well, can you tell Danita that? Cause...
Oh, Danita. Oh. Well, see, I'll have to have that conversation with her, starting season 3.
We need to bring you on to talk to
Danita.
Now that's an episode.
Yes.
We have Yolanda Adams here. She wants to talk to Danita.
Look here, Missy.
Well, listen, I appreciate you so much, and congratulations for everything. I mean, did I miss? I know there's other things I'm sure.
My gosh, no, that was more than enough. Thank you again for sharing your platform. I love what you're doing. I love how you're opening the door for young women to understand that there's more than enough room everywhere for everybody.
Man, listen, whatever I could do, I always want to help. When there's people that are like new artists, up and coming women, I'm always like, I know how hard it is
Yes.
to be a woman and to be in this business.
Yes.
And so if there's anything I can do to help other people, I'm definitely the person that is glad to be in this position for that very purpose.
Yeah.
So
And that's why you're in that position.
thank you.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know how what a blessing this is for me to have you up here. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Like I said, I've been following you for a long time.
We've been
so
following
proud,
you for a long time.
So proud of everything.
I feel
And,
like
you
there's a
know,
light
again,
shining on me right
yeah,
now.
absolutely. It was shining on you when I walked in the room. You know,
I feel like it is.
All you have to do is just show up and be you. That's the
Oh,
beauty of everything, you
well,
know?
thank you.
Yeah.
You can come up here anytime. I'm loving it. My days. But thank you so much. I appreciate it. Make sure y'all get the album September 13th.
September 13th.
Sunny Days.
And the church doors, whichever version you want. You can buy all three if you want to. Praise the Lord. It's out right now wherever you get your great music.
All right. And we're not going to take a long break again from putting out an album?
No, we're not.
Okay.
No, we're not.
She said
I've
no.
already promised. No, I have already promised.
All right. I know Sylvia Rowan got at you.
Absolutely. Yes, she
let's-
did.
Let's
It's
get
like,
this roll
what are
out.
you doing? I'm like, I'm working.
All right. Well, Yolanda Adams, thank you so much.
Thank you, Angie.